Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 3 of the, what's this called again? The Old House Cleanup series. This morning I'm going to hook up the trailer. I have about half a trailer of light pressing steel to go to the tip. It's kind of parked there semi-permanently and it's stuff that I couldn't be bothered taking to the scrapyards in Melbourne. So we'll hook the trailer up, we'll take it round to the house this morning, we'll clean up any of the light wire and tin around the yard. I'll probably also grab any larger pieces of rubbish and stuff that we need to take to the tip as well, because I have a voucher to cash in. I don't like doing any loads to the tip, but sometimes a bit of larger stuff is easier to get rid of when the council give us a voucher once a year. I've got a few other bigger things in my carport to get rid of as well. But let's go and load up the scrap first and pick out any last stuff out of the old shed there. Just finish tidying up the yard and then hopefully we'll be able to start on the house very soon. So there's just what's in the trailer at the moment, just some light, very light pressing steel, stuff that I didn't want to have to load up and take to the scrapyard in Melbourne, because when I do a trip down in the van, I want to get a good paying load, and it's about, it's almost 2 hours drive. So this stuff just goes to the local transfer station for free, not the piece of railway track. I'm going to drop that off at the shop and that will be for sale. But we'll go and top the trailer up around at this house now, and then I should be able to do a load, well, perhaps next time the tip's open. Hey Coco, are you enjoying your new sun mat or your outdoor lounge? Comfortable? It's just a shame the sun's gone behind the clouds. It'll come out soon. Round at the property now, and Christine's working like a Trojan, loading all the scrap steel. So this is going to the transfer station for free. There will be some bits of rubbish that, as I said, I'll do a load later on, so I might leave them here for now. There's a few pot plants that can go in the local recycling bin, or when I say pot plants, just pots, but we might try and give them away. There's always people looking for pots. And a bit of cardboard out of the shed that can go in the recycle bin as well. We best get in and finish cleaning the shed up as well. But I better go and help Christine before she runs out of steam. Are you going to sing Roll Out the Barrels?
Roll out the barrels. That's all I know.
Well, after that barrel of fun, we've finished the yard. We're moving into the shed here just to finish tidying this up. We shall get these lawnmowers loaded. Christine's just picking up some of the rubbish on the floor. So we'll get it pretty neat. It won't take long. There's nothing in any of the cupboards. And that was that exercise thing. That's an exercise frame of some sort, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a...
Like a rowing machine. Oh no.
Back. It's a
better back.
machine.
So that's probably what those handles were off that I had in the shed. So that can just go on the trailer for scrap metal. Looks like there's a tent, a bit of leftover paint. Well, I'm going to put a little bit of a Swifty here. When I clean out a house, we always leave the paint in case the new owners need to match it. It's a bit of a stretch in this case, but we're going to leave the paint. Umbrella, which I've got the stand for in the trailer, and the wardrobes may well stay here because I think they're just going to bulldoze this whole building. Oh, there's some boxes that I bought last time. I forgot they were there. So we'll just finish tidying this up, get the trailer and the ute tied down, and we'll be out of here. So it only took us about half an hour. We've just got to tie down now. We've got some rubbish for the trip later. The recycle bin's full, and then we can top up the red bin for next week. We go in alternate weeks for local bins here. And I'll throw these big tents on and the large umbrella. We may as well try and give those away. I don't want to throw them out if I don't have to. So the shed's done. It's suitably cleaned out considering they're going to demolish it anyway. Some really nice old lining boards, and those shelves and the doors on these ones are great, but it's not a separate cupboard, otherwise I'd consider taking it. In fact, it's really just a frame onto the wall of the house and using old packing crate timbers as shelves, I think, packing crate boxes. It's a great example of early furniture. Really nice old timber, and the doors are cute too. We might, as I think I mentioned earlier in this video, we might talk to the developers. If they're going to demolish the place, we might try and rescue some of the stuff. We did rescue stuff out of an old house quite a while ago, and I did a video series on it. I'll link it if I can remember. And we salvaged a lot of the floorboards, so it's nice to save some of the old timbers, even the lining boards in the ceiling. It doesn't look like it's ever had white ants in it, but it's certainly very weathered. How's that? A large cast iron, I presume a closable air vent. That would be worth salvaging. Anyway, the shed's finished. As it turns out, Most of those cans of paint were empty, so they're just going to the scrap metal pile. There's only a couple that I put where else behind the door. Back home now, and I have to make some sense out of this mess. The frame on top here we've decided to keep. It's a solid steel frame, it's not hollow pipe. That leg's a bit bent, but the rest of it's not bad. We figure it might make a good stand for pot plants in our fernery. So just a couple of boards on it will look really good. So that's too good to take out to the transfer station. The rubber mat's okay, I'll use that in my shed. And there's the concrete base from, I think, this umbrella. So we might try and give that away at the shop. The base is quite good, we could probably sell that, but the umbrella's pretty faded. I don't think it's broken, so we might set it up and have it as a giveaway. At least then we don't have to worry about it. The rest of this load is pretty well just scrap steel to go to the local transfer station, so that can all stay on the trailer and I'll top it up with anything else I can find. As for the ute, well, it's a pretty good load on this. I want to take the lawnmowers off here because we're going to check them out and see if we can get them running. There's some tents, and I think that's a canvas, might be a ground sheet. That's the poles for the tent, and there's a tent in the bag there. These are always difficult to sell because I don't want to spend an hour trying to set them up. I think I'd rather just, we might take them out at the shop tomorrow, we'll fold them out or unfold them. We've got a large footpath area next to the shop. So we won't set it up as such, but we'll fold it out to see what condition it's in. And you know, we might put, I might even just have it for free, just to get rid of it all. Someone will be wrapped with that and I don't have to worry about it. That may just simply be an old canvas tarp. So look, I might even reconsider and keep that, but I'm happy to get rid of that stuff quickly. There's a little bit of stuff in that box. We have the mulcher also to test, so I'll do that at home. So I will be unloading most of the ute. In fact, probably all of the ute I might unload, because then I can start filling it with e-waste to go to the transfer station. Seeing so, we're taking this trailer at a load of scrap out there as well. So that would be most efficient use of my time. So I'll unload all of this here. The tent and the tarp and everything can maybe go in the van, and I'll take the van to the shop in the morning. So that's my plan at this stage, but we also might unbox a bit of stuff that was in that box. And there's a few other things in the van as well that I didn't do in the last video. And there's another crate under here. So we might do those in the shed to finish off this video once I get this ute unloaded. So I've got the ute unloaded, and here are the two mowers and the mulcher. And Coco has taken offence at something the mower said. Oh, I think it's is it the catcher or the plastic chute? What are you up to, Coco? Don't you tear that up. So anything strange in her yard, she gives a severe talking to, and sometimes it's more than that. Anyway, she gets a bit of an attitude sometime, but then, you know, don't we all? So I'm going to do a video on each of these things, particularly the two mowers. I reckon we can definitely get them going. I won't... Are you right? Look at that toothy grin. How cheeky. People have been asking where you are. Say hi to everyone. And the Ryobi grass trimmer, I challenged myself to get all three of those going. Whether they'll be in good condition or good enough to sell, that remains to be seen. But I reckon I should be able to at least get them all running in future videos. So I just got to take a few more boxes down to the shed, and we'll do a little bit more unboxing to finish off this video. So let's get through some of the small stuff that I got out of the ute. There was more than I thought, plus there was a couple of boxes in the front of the van. There's some over the back there, and there's another box outside. So we won't do it all in this episode. We'll continue in the next one. But we want to process everything, and we haven't even got anything to write down as far as value for this episode yet, because the mowers and everything will come later. So quickly sort through this. There's some loose items here. These are willow freezer bricks, so you put them in your freezer, they go cold, then you put them in your esky or your chili bin or your cooler, or what was the other one? Cool box. So thanks for all your messages from all over the world as to what we call an esky. So I think you can still buy these new, and I think they're fairly cheap. So I'm just going to put those in the $1 box as well, $1 each. As I said, we're going to have a lot of stuff in our $1 box for this deal. This is a much older one, canned cold magic brick. Same thing. You put it in your freezer, It's full of fluid. It freezes and turns into an ice brick, basically, for picnicking, surfing, travelling, hiking, everything. Do not punch the can. That's a bit unusual. Like, do not punch it? I think they mean do not puncture. Perhaps it lost something in translation. It looks 1960s. Look at the esky there, the old bottles. Instructions. Patent applied for ends in 1953. So that's pretty cool, literally cool. It's in pretty good nick, a little bit of surface rust, but no sign of any leaks. Fully soldered seam on the can. I reckon I'm going to put $20 on that, purely because it says do not punch the can. I like that. So that's a good little find. All right, let's go through this. I'll lift this up the top here so you can see it. So we just gathered all this out of the shed to clean the shed out. Some of it's probably just giveaway or rubbish. Hopefully not too much rubbish. We kind of did sort all that around at the shed. Retro TV legs. These would be great on a coffee table or something. Rather than me make something out of them, which I'm not going to have time for a while, I think we'll just put them in the shop. And I reckon I'm going to put $20 on them, because where do you find a set of 4 retro legs if you want them? You know, they're not easy to find. And the feet are good. They're swivel feet. And they're not damaged. Swivel glide. Turner Australia. So it's made in Australia. We'll go $20 on those. I'm not sure how we'll go there, but I reckon the right person would think $20 is cheap. Here we have a carpenter's like nail bag. It's real leather. It looks like it's never been used. So you strap it around your waist. The leather strap looks okay too. Has it got a buckle on it? Yep, still got the buckle. So I'm not sure what these things are worth. We might just put $5 on it. We could possibly get more, but we'll just go 5 on that. It's not overly interesting. The Great Detector. So I think that's a stud detector for on your wall. So we probably should see if that works. There's a battery compartment here. Well, hopefully it's not corroded up. Oh, I'll get a screwdriver for that. Hasn't been opened for a long time probably. There we go. Ah, nice and clean. Takes a 9-volt battery. I think we'll check that. They're probably fairly cheap to buy these days. You could probably even get an app on your phone to detect a stud in the wall. They pretty well just work on some sort of sound wave and whether the wall's hollow or dense where the stud is. So I don't know, it may not be worth a great deal, but I'll just blow the switch out. It's got a bit of sawdust around it. We'll put a battery in and see if it works. If it does, I'll just put $5 on it. If not, it can go in the e-waste box. A little garden utensil here. That's a handy little one. Little hoe chipping, that's a hoe, I guess, and that's for tilling. I don't know if Christine will want that. If she doesn't, it can just go in the $1 boxes again at the shop. And this, just a twisted piece of wire. Now, when we spotted it, Christine said, oh, it's a fishing rod holder. And I said at the same time, oh, it's a sprinkler or a hose holder. Could be either. I think she might be right with the fishing rod, because you wouldn't get a nozzle, hose nozzle through there. But similar sort of thing anyway. You spike it in the ground and it holds something, obviously at the right angle. It's only a twisted piece of wire. We might put it in the $1 box as well. Someone might appreciate not having to make one. A pitchfork head. Now I have a feeling there's a handle for that with the other garden tools. So if we can find that and I can fit it in easily enough, we'd easily get our $5. We'd probably struggle to get $5 just for that. So I'll check that one out. A little gadget here, some sort of guide or jig. It's got rollers on it. What's it say? US patent number, Canadian patent number. Okay, I'm thinking, oh, it's on an angle. Okay, I reckon it's for sharpening a handsaw. Hang on a tick. Here's an old tenon saw, and if we put that over the top, yep, we can run a triangle file through. The teeth show there. We can sharpen each tooth on a certain angle, and you can adjust the angle. And then you would put it the other way and sharpen every other tooth the other way. So there you go. It's a jig for sharpening a handsaw. I would imagine they're relatively cheap to buy these days. In fact, very few people sharpen their own saws these days. I'm going to put $5 on it. I reckon we'll get $5. This little tray just has a little ceramic pot. I don't know if Christine wants that. We might just put it in the dollar box unless she needs some little ceramic pots or terracotta pots for the fernery. So no value there. And this is a Wilson wallpaper, I guess it's the glue bucket. It's fun, it seems funny, it's probably a trough more than a bucket. And I don't know if anyone actually wallpapers anymore. Oh, well, you don't put glue. You had water in it, didn't you? And then you put the roll of wallpaper in the water and it makes the glue on the back of the paper go sticky. And then you somehow attempt to stick it to the wall after getting it off your arms and your head. And yeah, I think there's quite a lot of comedy skits on hanging wallpaper. I don't know if anyone even does it anymore. So will we put that in a dollar box? I don't know. Maybe we can use it as a trough and grow plants in it. Probably just in the dollar box. I don't think it's worth any more than $1. Okay, let's get through a bit more of this stuff. We have a fairly new jerry can, 10-litre fuel can, and it feels like it's got fuel in it, so it's probably what they were using to mow the block, and it looks pretty clean in there. Definitely petrol or gas for some of you, so it will be good clean fuel. I will keep this here because I needed another little jerry can, and I might, when I tip it into my mower, I won't use the last little bit, and I'll just make sure it hasn't got water in the bottom of it, because water does tend to accumulate. But I'm sure it's fresh fuel, so that will be handy. No value on that one because we're keeping it. So that's a nice little bonus. Here we have fishing reels. I knew there were some fishing reels here somewhere. Now, some reels can be quite valuable. That's a Abu 505 Svangsta. That sounds a little bit European. Made in Sweden. Product of Sweden. That's probably a very good reel, that one. So I might just check that online. But there's a fair chance that that's a reasonably expensive reel. It's a left... Yeah, it goes on the rod that way. It's a left-hand wind. I wonder if that's normal. I want to wind it that way. But I'll check the value of that. I'm thinking it's got to be probably a $20 or $30 reel. Don't know. I'll have to check on that. The other one here looks a bit of an older one. It winds from the same size, so maybe the owner was left-handed. Can't see any marks on this one, but it does seem to operate fine. A little bit stiff in the gearbox. There's just a number written there. I'll have to clean it up a bit. That could be certainly worth checking again. It could be a $10 or $20 reel again, made in France. Okay, so it's going to be a fairly good quality one, you would think. So we'll check those. Oh, here we have the book for the Abu 505. So yeah, there's a fair chance. I have a suspicion that's going to be quite a good reel. It looks very 60s, so it might be printed in Sweden. It's dated 1962. There we go. So it looks in remarkably good condition for a 1960s one. Classic anodized aluminium from the era. So that's nice having the book. It might even be an eBay item. This one says Mitchell, so maybe this is a Mitchell one. Looks about the right shape, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'll have to check out eBay on that one again. It's nice to have the books with them. And again, that looks like it's probably 60s era, maybe even 50s. Printed in France. No dates on this one. Yeah, very good. We'll check those ones out. We have another book here, Coleman. That would probably be or maybe a lamp. I don't think we got a lamp. It's possibly a heater in the house. So yeah, we don't have what this suits. It's all in German by the looks of it. Okay, I don't think that's going to have any value to us. And the box was for the Mitchell reel. Oh, there we go. We know the model of it now. So, and it says Mitchell on the side of the gear case. Yes, there's something written there. It says made in France. Maybe it had a sticker. Anyway, it's nice to have the box. It's nice to have the instruction booklets. We could have some good dollars with those. We'll check those out and let you know in the next episode there. Actually, I'll check them out online before we do our notepad for this one, so I'll give you a bit of an idea on what I think they're worth. A couple of other things here. We have an aluminium spirit level. Sturdy, made in Korea. Just check that the little vials aren't broken. They look like they're all there underneath the dust. So I'll give that a wash up. It could be $10. It looks as if it's quite usable. So a bit of a clean up. We should have $10 there. Here's a T-square, like a draftsman's square. It's very light. It's got a bit of a split there. Might get $5 still. And here's some fairly new large bolt cutters. So they look in excellent condition. High tensile jaws, 24 inch. What's that, 600 mil? So very new, obviously been purchased in the last few years. I can't see a brand on them. They're probably a Chinese brand. But the blades look good. It may have only been used once or twice by the looks of that. It hasn't chipped the blades. It needs adjusting. No, they don't close very well. I think you can adjust those. Don't know what they're worth to buy new. I'm thinking they're probably going to be, even if they are cheapies, they're going to be at least $20. So I might even hang on to these here. There has been times where I've needed some bolt cutters and I don't have any, so we'll keep those ones. Okay, let's try and clean the bench up here. This is our camping stove. It's upside down. It's a Primus and it's tied up with string. Of course, why wouldn't you? And we'll see what it looks like inside. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. It's got the original cylinder in there. So these latches swing under and become the legs for it. And then this becomes your wind guard, so that you can, when you're out camping and it's windy, we need to take the bottle out. So the bottle's going to be well out of date. We don't have a hose for it. There's a new bottle there in a box, which I assume we can use. And the wind guard just drops down in there. So that's how you set it up. Good little cooking camp oven. Not sure what this is for. I don't know if that suits it or not. But it looks in good usable condition. The gas valves feel good. Excellent. Well, I think that's going to be worth a bit. Let's get the other gas bottle out. This one's probably not much good because it's going to be well out of date, and I'm sure you wouldn't be able to get it filled. Not sure what we can do with that because you can't put them in the scrap metal. The scrap yards do not like gas cylinders in the scrap. And here's another bottle that was in the shed with a hose on it. It's probably the original hose, so we'd have to be careful of that. Very dusty, but it's a much more modern bottle. I'll just wipe the dust off and be back with you in a second. Well, that bottle looks a bit better now, but even though it's much more modern than the other one, it still has a date on the bottom of, where did I see it? Last test date was 1988. They're supposed to be tested every 10 years. So it's about 26 years out of date. So, all right, it's still got quite a bit of gas in it, but I can't sell that thing out of date, and I can't sell it with the old hose, even though it actually feels all right. I'm going to leave this here in my shed because I'll probably use the gas with heating gun I've got here or something down the track. And I'm just going to sell the gas cooktop as it is, probably about $20, and someone can get their own hose and bottle for it. So yeah, it's a nice saleable piece. I don't have to clean it up. It works fine. The valves appear to work okay, so that's fine. $20 for the cooker. I'll fold that up, and I think we might call it quits on this video, because in this box we have a bit of cutlery and stuff that we actually got out of the rubbish bin. You know, we can't help ourselves. We had a bit of a look in the rubbish bin, and there's a couple of nicer bits in there, so we'll look at that in the next video. I'll get the notepad out with what we've priced so far, just so we can keep a running tally of what we're up to. And I've got a few more keepers in this one as well. But yep, I'll fold this away, clean up a bit, get the notepad out. And here we go. Next day we have the notepad ready, and I've cleaned up a few things. I didn't actually get to clean up these fishing reels, but I will give them a bit of a tidy up. I'm going to put them in the shop. I checked out some prices. We'll look at the list in a minute. A couple of things to mention. It was our first day today at the shop for the week, and we unloaded the van of all the stuff you saw in the last episode, and we've sold, what did we sell? The wheelbarrow's gone, the fire pit's gone. I sold 16 items out of the $1 box, so I've got a couple of more items to go back into the $1 box, including the stud detector. I did put a battery in it. It lit up, but the sensitivity doesn't seem quite right. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll put it in the $1 box. Someone can have a play with it. So we have moved a bit of stuff first day, which is awesome. I did fix the pitchfork here, found the handle for it. So I guess I probably should have added that to this list. So add another $5 to the total that we'll look at in a minute. So what have we got? Well, prices as mentioned before, but the fishing reels are quite good ones. My hunch was right. I saw quite a number of these available on eBay. Some of them sold for over $100. Lots of them sold for between $40 and $60. Some people were asking over $300, but then that's the nature of eBay. There's plenty of dreamers out there. But given we've got the book, I'm just going to price it at $45. I'll give it just a quick wipe over. I'm not going to go to any trouble. $45 should be very achievable, and very similar with the Mitchell. I saw some that actually had sold for over $100, but they're just one bid sales, and you never really know if it's, you know, a legitimate sale. I did see a couple sell for close to $100 with multiple bids, so I'm fairly confident that it's a sought after one. Original box, albeit a bit tatty. Booklet, I just put $45 as well, so I'm allowing $90 for both the fishing reels. I really don't want to muck around trying to eBay them. So we don't have a lot of stuff in this episode, but we do have a total of $175. And yeah, add $5, so make it $180 with that pitchfork. So prices as discussed. But we did get a lot of stuff cleaned up. A lot more stuff is going in the $1 box, which I'm not writing down, so that's pretty cool. So our total, after 2 episodes of Notepad news, I guess we could say that, $620 priced out from this deal, and we've still got the mowers and some bigger things out of the shed, and we haven't started in the house yet. It was good to get all the outside done. The shed's finished. We've picked up all the scrap metal. There's still a little bit of rubbish we've got to go and pick up, but pretty well the outside's finished. And now we can start on the house probably tomorrow night. The owner has been back to finish up what she wants, so pretty well we've got the key now, can clean it all out. And while we were there the other day, we had a bit of a yak and had a bit of a look inside, and I think all that nice good china is still in the cabinet. Hopefully the records are still there. A few of you mentioned that there was some good records in that folder that Christine found. So I think we'll do pretty well out of it. We do have to market all the furniture, and a lot of that is just a lot of hassle because we're going to give it away. But, you know, hopefully it finds a new home and we don't have to take it to the tip. So that's all good. Now, we did try the tent at the shop today for free. I didn't unroll it. I'll show you the picture now. I just put it out on the ground for free. I did put it on Facebook as a mystery tent because I hadn't even unpacked it. And I did the same with this umbrella. We didn't get any takers for that either. And I thought I was only going to give the umbrella one day. So I've brought that home. It's all a timber frame, so I'll be able to break up the timber for kindling for my shed fire. The umbrella really isn't that good, but the concrete base I will actually be able to get $10 for, so that's worth doing. So there we go. That finishes episode 3. We're going to keep forging ahead with this deal. There'll be another episode soon as we get into the house. We'll catch you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.